Stephanie,
Yes.
tell us your name. How you doing?
I'm Stephanie, and I play the role of Rachel.
What sort of person is going to watch this movie and enjoy this movie?
Well, it's a fun one for anyone to watch. It's definitely a family-friendly film, and so it's really refreshing to see that it's something that a whole family can get around and enjoy and laugh at and also learn from. So yeah, I think it's a good family film, but also even people that are in church, but also those maybe who haven't been to church for a while because either they've been burned by the church or have had a really hard experience. I think this is really a welcoming sort of film to kind of invite them back into having that conversation.
What about Rachel is most like you?
Well, her outfits, she's a colorful personality, and I like a lot of color. And so she's a very colorful person, both in her personality and her wardrobe. But yeah, I think that would probably be the best way. I don't necessarily always talk on that level, on that high of a pitch in real life. But I also relate to her in that I think she has found a way to look at life through a lens of gratitude and thankfulness because she lost her husband and she's clearly gone through some stuff. And yet you wouldn't know it because she's really always smiling, really positive all the time. That was kind of the backstory I created with her is like you can go through hard stuff and still have a life filled with peace and joy and gratitude toward what the Lord can do in and through suffering. So
has playing this character, has it even helped you in your own personal life in those different areas?
I think it helps you really, anytime I prepare a character where I have to ask myself, okay, how have I lived in a way like this character? To help me relate to her, anytime you're able to really go there emotionally, there's a part of acting that's healing, that takes your past and is able to view it through a new lens, through the character's lens, and it helps you look at your own life a lot more with gratitude because you're able to say, okay, God didn't waste that. I'm now able to use this in creating a different person, and there's something healing about that, I think.
So the credits are rolling at the very end. What is your hope that the audience will be thinking once it's all said and done, once they're walking out of the theater?
I think that there is hope for the body of Christ, that although we are a bunch of imperfect people, God can work in spite of and even through our imperfections for his glory and to unify other people and to heal the broken pieces of a person's past and present. I think with Pastor Hopkins, he was able to find healing from his past, from his childhood that had carried him through and actually led him to a life of conning. But he was able to find kind of freedom and hope because in light of the fact that he himself was not perfect and anything but perfect, he still found acceptance and love from the body of Christ. And so as much as it may be easier to run away, God calls us to stay.
And we're so thankful that he did stay.
Yeah.
What's going to surprise people about this movie?
I think probably just the humor, just the different surprises. There are so many fun, goofy characters, and yet, although there's the humor element, like with this squirrel, for example, that's a big surprising element. I also think another element that's very surprising is the very heartfelt nature of it, like the scenes where they kind of come to know the Lord, they learn to forgive themselves and forgive other people, and those are really beautiful moments.
How did you prepare for this role?
Well, I probably tried on every single outfit in my entire closet. So that was a certain part of it. But I also, just regardless of the wardrobe side of things, because she's so many crazy outfits, but I think just really kind of building her backstory. That's how I kind of create characters. I ask why is she like this? Why is she so over bubbly almost to the extreme? And is it because she's compensating for something? Is it because she has learned something from her past and, having gone through a death of a husband and moving forward from that as a single mom and trying to figure that whole thing out and supporting her family? she had to find a way to, either look at the bright side or live in that place of sadness and darkness, which wasn't really helping anyone. And so in my mind, there was a whole arch and journey to her character that led her to where she was.
And what was the biggest challenge in this in this role?
I think, okay, so for me, this is kind of synonymous with any film role I'll do, but when you film a feature film, everything is filmed out of order. And I wanted her to have at least a little bit of an arc to where she starts one way and kind of goes through a realization and is able to kind of come out on the other side. Because at the beginning, she kind of passes off a lot of the church duties to other people, and she doesn't want to accept what her role is and what her role in the church is. And by the end, she kind of owns it. Like, she owns it and fights for it at the very end. And so being able to kind of like keep that in mind when you're filming like, let's say the last scene at the beginning and the beginning at the end in terms of the filming process, that's a hard thing. Just from an acting standpoint to always keep in mind is, okay, where am I at in this arc? So like I'd show up on set every day. The night before, I would go through all the scenes and try and figure out, like map out, okay, where am I here on this arch that I kind of had created in my head a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
And she's she doesn't have a huge arch, right? Because she's like the goofy character a little bit, but there is still something there. I just didn't want to lose. I think she starts off a lot more goofy and bubbly and ends a lot more. She's still a little crazy at the end, but she's a little more grounded.
Yeah, that's really impressive to be able to do that, to be able to jump around from place to place and have these little micro changes in the way that you look at people and the way that you think about stuff. That's really impressive how you did that.
It's a fun challenge.
Yeah. Why did you want to be involved in this production?
Really, it comes down to, okay, God gave me these gifts to edify, unify, and strengthen the body of Christ. And if I can do that in the form of a feature film, that definitely that is the very clear motivation, then that's what I want to be a part of. So, I mean, that's why I say no to a lot. That's why I say yes to other things is, okay, is this where you want me, Lord? And this was a very clear, and I really did seek the Lord a lot on this one. So I knew this is where I needed to be.
It's huge because you were traveling from Texas
Yeah.
to be here on the weekends and all that. So
Yeah, that's why I really needed to seek the Lord a lot in that too.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, I want to honor you in my family and with the time you've given me, and is this the me being a good steward of that? And I really, really did seek the Lord, and I'm so glad I said yes.
Yeah.
So.
What was it like working with Living Word Films?
Oh, I love you people. No, but for real, I mean, there are different film sets. There are film sets where it's a job, and then there are some where those crew members and cast members, they become family, and this has become family for me. And I got excited about getting back here and seeing everyone, and I don't know, I've become really, really close with Sharon, for example, and she and I stay in touch quite often too. And Micah is always like texting, just praying for me and for my family. And that to me that's a blessing. That's a huge blessing. And it's exciting and a blessing for me to get to pray for all of you. And knowing that I have a home away from home is what that feels like, is a special thing that you really just can't manufacture. It just happens,
Who's the funniest person on the cast? And
the squirrel.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
kidding,
Yeah.
no. I had not seen any of Matt's scenes, any of the Hans or Hansai or Hanses or whatever that is supposed the plural version of that. And it was so fun to see those scenes because I've never been on set the whole time. I'd never got a chance to meet him in person. And so that was really funny to watch for me. He was the funniest character.
So without giving anything away, what was your favorite line or dialogue?
It goes back to the Hans. So I remember reading the script the first time, and that was when I first laughed out loud. Is the, no, it's Hans. No, it's Hans. Is it Hansai? That whole like shtick just made me laugh. I thought that was really funny. So for me, that was the first thing that stuck out to me in the script, and also it ended up in the trailer. So that was really fun. Yeah.
Besides yourself, which actor in this production is going to blow people away?
I would say both Michael and Sharon. They obviously were the leads in this, but they had a great I don't want to say chemistry, but they just played off each other really well, especially in the more serious scenes. I really liked. I had never seen any of those until today, and so to get to see them interacting like that and really having those heartfelt moments, they were fantastic.
When you have a 5-minute break during filming, what are you normally doing in that time?
Well, in this film, I was like interviewing everyone just because I was like, well, maybe you can use it. I wanted to use my free time, other than just sitting there or whatever. But I also really loved it. That was the secondary surprise in that, because I got to know a lot of people that and kind of what makes them tick in a much more real way through those interviews than you would if you're just kind of performing and then taking a little break and then getting back to it. And so just having those like really heart-to-heart conversations were really, really special to me, And I think it's what led to, like, for example, Sharon and I becoming a lot closer through that process, is really getting to talk about things that had nothing to do with film,
I guess that's what kind of made it feel a little bit more like family.
Yeah.
And less like just a job.
Yeah, it's true.
Stephanie, thanks so much for being here. We really enjoyed it. You played such a great role, and so it was very inspiring.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.